Good morning, Year 4. So, for today's maths lesson, we are going to be looking at an hour. If you've noticed the giant clock on the board behind me and you've guessed time, you are correct. Well done. We are going to be learning about time today. So our learning intention for today is that we are going to be learning to identify time to the nearest 5 minutes. So our success criteria to go along with our learning intention today is that I can identify time to the nearest 5 minutes. So I'm going to start today by asking you to get out your template. So in each of your learning packs, you will have a blank clock. I'll give you a couple of moments to get it out now. If you need a little bit more time, you can also pause the video, go and grab your clock, and then come back and hit play. So the first step, you'll notice my big clock on the board. I have got the number 12 written up the top. I would like you to do the same thing and put the number 12 at the very top. Why did I put the number 12 at the top, you might ask? Because on a clock face, the top number is always 12. Because the day is split into 12 hours. We get 12 hours of daytime with sun, and we get 12 hours of nighttime with moon and darkness. Now, you may have noticed there is 12 fantastic markers placed on our clock. We're now going to label our clock. So, starting at the number 12, we are going to start on the right-hand side of the clock. Because when we're doing a clock, we want it to go around like this, in this direction, with our arrow going this way. So that will help you when we're labeling our clock to remember the direction we're going to follow. So we're going to start with the number 1 up here, because it's 1 o'clock. Then we're going to do the number 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way along until you finish at the number 12. Remembering to follow our circle that I've drawn in the middle to help you remember the direction of your numbers. Once you have finished that, I'm just going to rub off my circle in the middle so that I don't forget. So, when we're looking at an analog clock, analog clocks have our minute hand and an hour hand. So for our clock, for our hour hand, I'm going to use a red texter, and the hour hand represents the 12 hours. So my hour hand can go to 12. So it's the 12 hours. Now the minute hand is a little bit different. So the minute hand can actually mean 60 minutes, because we know that in 1 hour there are 60 minutes. So our minute hand can equal 60 minutes. Can equal 60 minutes. So that's important. We can't forget that. 60 minutes, because when we're counting for our nearest to 5 minutes, we're going to need to remember that number 60, because it's important. So what we're going to do is count in 5s, because if we try from our 12 and we have 12 different hours, if we divide it in half, that equals 6. So what you're now going to do, I want you to write the number 5 up here, because there is 5 little minutes between the number 12 and the number 1. So if it's easier, you can write the 5 above the number 1, so you can remember that if our minute hand's on the number 1, we've reached 5 minutes. So I want you to go around and add 5 to every number. So we've started at 5. So if we're going to jump up another 5, 5 plus 5 is 10. So my next one, I'm going to write the number 10. Going up another 5 minutes, 15, 20, 25. Keep going all the way around till you reach the top. And you should be at the number 60 at the end. So now I've got it marked that I can see that each number represents 5. Now I need to find the time on my clock. It says that it is 2:10. So I'm going to write in the middle 2:10 so I can remember what I need to do. Now, there's 2 hands that are very important on our analog clock. One is the shorthand, which I'm going to do in red. And if we look over here, our red writing is the hour because it's going to be our hour hand. The hour hand is the shortest hand on the clock. So our next one is going to be our black one. Our black one is going to be the minute hand. The minute hand is the longest one on the clock, the longest hand on the clock. So when we're looking at time, we know that we always start with hour first. So I'm going to underline the hour first, and it says that it is 2. So using my dot in the middle, I am going to use the red colour, and I'm going to draw a shorthand to the number 2. So I'm going to draw a shorthand to the number 2. Just like that. So I know that my hour hand is 2. Now it's time to find the minute hand. So the minute hand is 10. Lucky for us, we've already labelled the minutes, so that will make it a bit easier for you. So the minute hand has to be nice and long, and it has to be on the 10 minutes. Now up here we started with our 5 minutes was the 1. Our 10 minutes was the number 2. So I'm going to draw from our middle circle a big long hand to the number 2. So I have a big long hand like this. So now when I read the clock, I can see that it is 2:10 because up here, I can see that it's the 10-minute mark. Okay? So now I've shown you that example. I'm going to rub it off. I'm going to show you another one. And then it's going to be your turn to have a try. So I'm going to rub this number off. And I'm going to use a different number, because we want to make sure we're including our 5s. So the next number that we need to find, I need to put my circle back in the middle, is going to be the number, I think we finish school at 3:60. No, that's not right. That's a bit silly. We are going to find the number for the time. So we are going to pretend that the time is 3:25. So I'm going to write the number 3, 2 dots, 25, because those dots show us which is the hour time and which is the minute time. So the hour is 3. So remember, it's our hour is red, and red is our shorthand. So I'm going to draw a shorthand to the number 3. Colour in so you can see it nice and clearly. And then I'm going to do the minute hand. So the minute is 25. Ooh, I might have to count this one out. I'm going to practice counting up in 5s. I know that we've labelled it around the clock, But sometimes counting up in fives can help our brain to remember as well. So I'm going to start with our number 12 and I'm going to jump 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oh, I'm going to pause it there. I was looking for 25 minutes and I've just hit the number 25. Using my black texter for the minute hand, I'm going to draw a long line because minute is the longest. And I am going to draw it to the 5. Now I know it goes to the 5 because I counted in fives and I stopped at 25. And 25 is also written here if you need a little bit of help, extra help remembering. So now if I look at my hand, my short hand, the hour hand's on the 3. And my minute hand is on the 5 because it's 25 minutes past 3. Good job. Okay, now it's going to be your turn. So in your learning packs, you will find a sheet with some different clocks on it, and there's some different times written underneath to 5 minutes. You can use this to help you of what you've just drawn with your template. You need to draw the correct time to the nearest 5 minutes on your clock.